everybody, I completed grading for week one, and I wanted to just provide some high-level feedback. So in case it was maybe something you didn't, land on, in the first week, but still some things I noticed in other people's writing, I wanted to just bring it out to the whole group, and this would be something I would do if I was teaching a class face-to-face, so I found there's a lot of benefit in it. So just some high-level feedback across week one for you to kind of digest. So overall, great job in week one. I know as you move into a new course, new content for most people, and then also new instructor. How's this person going to grade? Kind of understanding that. You guys did a really nice job this week. Most notably, some really good engaged discussion threads. So I really liked what I saw happening there. While I'd love to comment to every single one of them, I don't have enough time to do that, but I do read every one of them. So it's really kind of fascinating for me to pick up the personal narrative, if you will. So for you to kind of put your spin on it, and many of you did a great job this week of providing factual-based content, but then also talking about how this plays into your day-to-day. So, I'm not a clinician by trade. Some of you do have a background in the clinical space. Some of you don't. But we all come from different walks, of the industry. So it's kind of nice to see all of your different perspectives. So I really enjoy reading that. So keep up the good work in the discussions. If you didn't earn full credit, I tried to give you some feedback as to why you might not have on both the discussion and the paper. With the papers, most notably, I do a couple of things. I use the rubric that's provided by the program, but then I also go in and put in-text comments into the paper. And those are done two different ways. You might see a little yellow icon that looks like kind of chat bubbles. Click on that. That'll give you some detail, but then also just text directly into the paper. So sometimes they're easy to miss, so just kind of take your time and go through that and have a look. But again, overall for the first week with the papers, really good writing, really good job with adhering to APA. Now, as we move into the subsequent weeks, a couple of things that I made notes on a few papers is try to find that balance in your sources of qualitative and quantitative, okay? And in health IT, there is no shortage of both. Qualitative, again, those kind of warm and fuzzies of, stuff that's tougher to measure, okay? Quantitative is really where the rubber hits the road, if you will. So those sources of, if properly doing CPOE, institution X found a reduction of readmits by 72%. Patient outcomes improved by 46%. All of those things, those data points, measurable data points, percentages, numbers, all of those things speak volumes to your writing, and it really helps support your position as a writer. So keep that in mind. Look for those sources that are out there. One thing you can also do that'll help you as you're trying to find those sources is instead of just using Google to search, use Google Scholar, and that will help you find more of those peer-reviewed scholarly type articles that do have those data points clearly laid out in there. So the other thing to kind of think about in this topic of health IT is timeliness of the sources, okay? This stuff changes incredibly quickly. I'm not a big fan of textbooks on this topic, just simply because by the time an author can write a textbook, it goes to publication, review, another professor adopts it, uses it in his or her course. This stuff's already out of date. So that's why you'll see, I provide you with a lot of articles. There's a lot of articles and a lot of content already embedded into the course, but, what gets written yesterday is out of date by tomorrow in some cases. So that's why, you got to kind of look for currency of sources. So when you're looking for sources to support your writing, I would say look for stuff that's been written within the last decade. If you're getting back too far, it's just stuff that, it's frankly probably changed by now. So, and if you're talking about telehealth in today's society, we've learned a lot in 7 months. So that's going to be, very relevant. So as we move into week two, you're going to write about some legislation at the state level. And again, as I indicated in my email to you earlier today, this is always very fascinating for me because it's impossible for me to stay tuned into everything going on at the local levels everywhere. You guys live all over the place. So it's your opportunity to really kind of dig into what's going on in your state, in your municipality, and see how this could potentially impact you. Okay, so I love reading these papers that you write, especially in week two, just because I get to see what's going on in your space. Okay, so keep all that in mind. Again, great work in week 1. If you have any of those specific questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a note. Happy to talk through anything, clear up any confusion. I try to grade very quickly so you get that feedback and can start incorporating it into the next week. In doing that, sometimes I might not give you enough detail, so by all means, just hit me up. Happy to provide that, and I hope you all have a good week too.